Alright everybody, today we are going to be replacing the lock actuator on the cargo door of the van. This was broken when we got the van. We could open the van from the inside, but not from the outside. And every time we hit the fob, you could kind of hear something was happening, but it wasn't making that strong thunk click that all the other actuators in the sliding door and the passenger and driver door were making. So it's pretty obvious there was something wrong with it. I wasn't able to film taking it out, but I'll be putting the new one in. I have the new one right here. So you can just pretty much retrace my steps and kind of reverse engineer it as I put it in. Just make sure they are the right part number. Yes, they are. And there's really not a whole lot of tools involved in this. It's mostly some torques. Hardest part of it is getting the handle in, and I'll show you that when I get to it. But really, there's not a whole lot to this. This cable right here goes to the handle. You've got two other cables that run to this mechanism right here. This is the lock unlock from the inside. And then I'll have to show it to you later. Another mechanism slides onto here for the upper latch. And it just slides on and then attaches to here. And then you have your electronics that just slide in right there. So all in all, not super difficult, but it's just getting your hands in there to move everything around is kind of the most difficult part of it. So also, depending on the amount of throw that your handle has, you can actually adjust it right here. I'm not sure if you can see that there's threads on this part. And so you can take this part out, turn the thread, slide it up and down if you need more mechanical throw on the handle. Unfortunately, that means taking the whole thing apart again, because when this thing is in, this is up against the wall. You can't get to any of this once it's actually in the door of the van. So I'm just going to have to hope that I get it right. So let's start. I just want to say too, I couldn't find a YouTube video on this, which is another reason why I'm doing this. If you real sprinter pros know of an easier way to do this, please let me know in the chatty box below. It doesn't seem like there's any way to make this easier. Now that I've taken it in and out a couple times, I think I've got it down. But once again, that handle is the most difficult part. Getting this part in itself is actually pretty easy. We also, right in here, we have the cable. I'm not sure if you can see that. Let me bring it a little bit closer. This is the cable, and here's the part that slides onto the actual actuator that goes up to the upper latch. So you see it's kind of a weird shape, and it's got to fit in to the actual actuator. What I did before, found that the easiest way was a pair of needle nose pliers. I like the bent ones, in order to get it into this little latch right here. So let's see if I can get it back in. So there's the part that slides onto the top. That plastic part goes onto the actuator. There's the cable now attached onto the upper latch release right there. Next, going to take the electronics, plug that in. That's maybe the easiest part. Now everything needs to get shoved back in. And we've got 3 Torx bolts that hold it into place. The hardest part about this too, or one thing that's hard, I keep saying the hardest part, is getting this cable, not wrecking this cable that goes to the handle. Oh, see, I already forgot. Before you can shove the actuator back into the actual door, you need to attach the cables. And you can see there they come out real easy. They're just kind of like little S-bends that go in. This one opens up the door. This is for lock, unlock. And you see how they just slide in. They kind of clip in. Gray goes on top, black goes on the bottom. And that's how you have to hook those up to get the inner latch to work. All right, now we can tuck this up into the door. All the cables are hooked up. Looking good. That was pretty easy. Looks to be a Torx 27. Be a 25. Nope, that's 25. Torx 27. All right, the next part we want to put in is the door handle. We want to do the door handle first, because if we were to do the interior door handle first, it would really limit the amount of movement we have to get this up in there. So again, kind of strange. It looks like it can take a cylinder lock maybe. This piece just kind of slides into there when it's in the door. And now that I've done this a couple times, the most difficult part of this is getting the handle in and then getting the handle to fit over this lever, which again, that is the throw that pulls up on that cable to unlock the actuator. What you got to do is slide this in, but see, it doesn't naturally fall into place. It doesn't naturally go, so you got to kind of, I had to get my hands up in there, got to rotate that back a little bit and put it there so that when you actually pull on the handle, it raises that cable up to unlock the door. See, it easily falls out. Once it's all together, it's a lot more solid. But anyway, that's the hardest part of this whole operation. So here's our cable that's coming out from the bottom of the actuator. Slides into there, and then again, just kind of locks into place. Now, I got to twist it around. That probably wasn't good. And fit it up in there. Let's see. On the outside of the door, you can't miss it. There's one little T20 Torx that holds the handle in place. So I'm going to go around the door and put that in. And there's that Torx that I just put in right there. There's where the cylinder lock is going to fit, or what should be the cylinder lock. Then the handle goes right there. Okay, now let's see if I can finagle this handle in. Oops, I got to put something there. Got this little gasket that goes here. How does that fit on? I think it just kind of fits in like that. You got to put this in first. Put that little gasket on. And now you can kind of feel that lever. Okay, it took some finagling, but I finally got it. What I actually discovered, and I'm going to need to redo this, is that it made it a lot easier if I went ahead and hooked up the internal latch, and I could take some of the tension off of the spring. So it probably is a good idea. You probably actually could have this in place, because my arm wasn't going through here to get to there. So ignore what I said earlier. Go ahead and attach. Now I need to redo this because now I can't get it up in there. But go ahead and attach the interior handle first. Again, I'm figuring this out as we go, right guys? Then you'll still be able to get to it. So let me undo this, and I'll show you how the cables go on the interior handle. Okay. The green one goes to the bottom. That's lock and unlock. It just slides in the top. I hope you can see that. And then again, it just kind of clips in. Let me double check. Yep. Of course, the button for lock unlock is broken too, so it makes it twice as hard. And then the white one is to open and close the door. And then this just kind of, I still haven't really figured out how this fits in, but I kind of just keep seeming to get lucky with it. Just kind of slides into place. There we go. Just kind of slides in. Well, that's in. And again, strange thing. Again, looks like it should have a cylinder, but this one doesn't. And this just, get it past that gasket. And it just kind of slides in. Not a whole lot to that. So we got a functioning handle. It still hasn't opened yet. So we are ready to test it out, except for one other thing that I got to show you. When I was trying to fix the actuator before and see what was going on, I actually made it worse. I ended up not being able to open it from the inside or open it from the outside. So what I had to do was get out my Sawzall and actually cut the latch. Had to cut the latch. And you cut it from here. So along with getting another lock actuator, I had to get another latch too. Luckily, these parts are readily available. Apparently, this is not only for the rear cargo door, but I know for a fact it's also for at least the driver's door. I didn't check the passenger, but I have a feeling these things are pretty much universal. Same part number and everything. So all it's going to take is 2 Torx to put that in, and then we'll get ready to try this thing out and see if it works. I'm a little nervous. Quick update. It's not working. I made the mistake of closing the door. Well, it latched, and I hit the fob. The fob part is working. So it's actually making a clicky-clacky sound. That part is working. It still does not open from the outside. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I think I need to adjust the throw on the bottom of where the cable enters the actuator. And I got smart, and I'm using the old piece that I had cut off before to trigger the latch so it thinks that it's hooked up to the car. I was thinking, oh my god, I'm going to have to cut my way out of this again. But anyway, I'm going to tinker with this a little bit more, and I'll let you know what happened. It's been about an hour. Long story short, the new actuator is working. It's clicking, it's locking, it's unlocking. That's good. I still can't get it to open from the outside. And here's what I found, and this is my next thing. I've taken it all apart, by the way. But this handle, where the handle pulls, it's stopping right there. Look at that amount of throw. It's hardly anything. It just seems like the handle can't get enough cable pull in order to unlock, to activate the latch, to get it to unlock. I don't see what the harm is. I'm going to go ahead and cut away part of this. There's 2 rings in here. This obviously must be if you want to have a cylinder lock. I don't. So in order to give this a little more throw, I'm going to cut away part of this. Put it back together and see what happens. I really don't want to adjust. It's kind of a pain to take out that cable and adjust that. So I want to try this first. I don't see any harm in cutting away that little bit of that. So this has more throw. I'll see. I'll let you know. All right. So I just cut away. I started cutting away on that circle. I was like, wait a minute. I'll just cut that tab off. So you see how I cut that tab? And it's got a lot more throw now. So I'm gonna try this and see if it works or not. I'm gonna put it all back together. Well, I think I got it, everybody. I think I got it. So I've got that old latch that I cut off in the new mechanism here, the new actuator. And watch this, I'm giving the handle a good pull. Boom. It opens up. It was never doing that before. So I honestly think that that extra throw by cutting that piece off is what's helping this out. Again, I think I could have adjusted it down here, but that when I did that before, I had a hard time getting some of these pieces out, and I don't want to mess around with this, $120 part and jack it up. So let's try it again. Let's try it again. I've done it like 3 times now, but I want to make sure before I try the big one. So there's the first position where it's still not fully closed. Second position right there. It should be fully closed. Boom. All right. I'm going to put all this back together now, and let's hope it works. Like I said, and I learned this before, go ahead and put the interior handle in first, because that will help you get the handle installed. That goes in, yeah. Two hands would definitely, another pair of hands would definitely help here. Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. Got it. Yes. All right, it's been about an hour. I declared victory a little too quick. What was happening is it was very intermittent, okay, of working and not working. My wife was just out. I was explaining to her. She was like, good luck. Trying to help me brainstorm it, because she's really good at helping me brainstorm this stuff. So again, I'm using the chop sawed off latch. Put it in there, 2 clicks, it's locked. Door thinks it's shut. Okay. Now, not locked, haven't hit it with the fob. Boom, comes right out. Okay, unlatches. Yay, that's good. So, gonna do it again. This time, I hit lock. It's all right, everybody. It's been a couple weeks since my phone died, and I'm finally getting back out here to wrap up this rear door lock actuator video. Here's the good news. I got it to work. Here's what happened. I think I had described to you that it was intermittently working between opening up from the inside and from the outside. I think what had happened was that once I actually tightened down the bolts, that the tolerances inside the actual mechanism just got kind of tight. And I was racking my brain going back and forth. And then I remembered something. I remembered seeing a video a while ago where the guy was like, actuator not working, try this first. And basically what he did, he just shot a bunch of lube down in the actuator. Well, I was like, well, I got nothing to lose. Let me try that. So I did that, and it worked perfectly. So obviously the tolerances in there were kind of tight, and things were just maybe a little on the dry side. But after I did that, using the fob to lock and unlock the door, it was working. It was working every time. So it's working great now, and I can only imagine what the dealership might have charged for something like that in order to change that thing out. So if you like what you saw with this, think about hitting like and subscribe. It worked for me. If I can do it, I'm sure you can do it as well. So thanks, and we'll see you next time.